in all our education institutions with immediate effect.
As the government announced this raft of measures aimed at containing the spread of the disease, including mandatory quarantines, countrywide curfews, and cancellation of flights, the effects on the economy were immediate. For entrepreneurs, it was a time of shock and uncertainty as business opportunities and deals disappeared. Optimism was replaced by anguish.
I remember it was in March and I was in the middle of negotiating a 2.5 million contract at that point. When COVID hit, everything crumbled.
I think it was announced on a Friday. My orders were cancelled by Monday. Staff uniform, branded merchandise. And I remember just holding my head and thinking, okay, so what's gonna happen?
I had an event on 28th of that March. I didn't do that event. It was a big event. I was supposed even to add more PA on my stock. We shut completely.
By the first week, we asked ourselves, who told our parents that any payment should stop because there was nothing coming into our accounts. It threw us to a state of confusion as a school.
I attended a KPSA organized conference. It was called Schools in Crisis on November 16th. And I remember the chair of Kenya Private Schools Association was addressing us. And she mentioned that as at that date, 420 private schools had shut down. That's a real blow. These
Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu, jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike, umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu.
Thus, we have ambassadors, the excellencies, the high commissioners. We do also have members of parliament present. The Rotary, led by the district governor, we appreciate you. The private sector members, the members of the Fourth Estate, in all invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning once again. Just as we do the opening remarks and the welcome, please say hi to the person next to you and cheer up, tafadhali. It is the last day of October. Just say hi. And tell them your nickname. Your nickname, tafadhali, we know for the DP. So, Mheshimiwa DP, thank you very much for allowing us to use somehow your nickname. So, we thank you. As you've heard, my name is Martha Cheruto. I'm the Deputy CEO at the Kenya Private Sector Alliance, leading foundation and the project. We thank you all for joining us today. Today being the 31st of October and the last day of this month, we request that we all reflect the year as we get into the new months. We do have two parts of the program today, and the program bringing everyone together is Matters Youth. We will be launching a program on Youth Accelerator, how to scale up SMEs and the youth, because we know the youth are the leaders of today and the leaders of tomorrow. We will then have the call to action. We have seen our brothers and sisters suffer because of drought. Because we are all Kenyans and we say our Kenya, our priority, we come together as one team, complementing the government and coming together to say pamoja tuungane. And we know in India, they are celebrating the National Day of Unity, and indeed, we are here to celebrate the unity of Kenyans to support our brothers and sisters. As I go to sit, I want us always to remember what we were taught by the late Honorable and Professor Wangari Maathai. She said, it is in the little things that we do that make a difference. May what we launch today and call to action enable us make a difference to this country, and we will come back one day to say that all our efforts have indeed been appreciated. We will therefore go to the youth panel discussion, and I will invite my colleague Agatha Juma to take over the discussion from here. So please feel welcome. There was tea.
said, I'm a student at St. Paul's University. I'm graduating in November. I'm also pursuing to your question, Kenya and UN have different meaning of being a youth. But as you've said, beside the age limit, we must agree that being a youth doesn't mean you be lazy and you be careless. It means you have the energy, you have all opportunities, one, to build capacity, to take each and every opportunity that presents itself, and also to create healthy relationships with people across the globe. From that, it means as a young person, you have all time to do what you can. You have the energy. You must be very active in matters governance, matters business. I mean, you have to be diverse, basically. That's what I would say, other than just being between the age of 18 to 34.
Thank you. So I guess I'm youth because I am energetic. All those things he has said, I subscribe to them. Beatrice Karibu.
Asante.
Beatrice, you studied community health at Technical University of Mombasa.
Yes, I did.
But you're now working as a legal transcriber.
Sure.
And there's been a lot of conversation with, I was about to sound like a parent and say your generation, with youth, around how you do not get the jobs which you studied for. Yes. Is there anything in what you studied at Technical University of Mombasa and your work as a legal transcriber that's similar? What are your experiences around not just looking for a job, but finding a job that's very different from what you studied?
Basically, thank you very much for welcoming me here. The Deputy President, Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, and all protocols observed. Good morning, everyone. Okay, I'm Beatrice Auma Ochieng. I studied community health and HIV management, currently working at ADEP Technologies. I'm a transcriber, a legal transcriber. That is a resident of Kibra, that popular slum. Yeah. Basically, finding a job, being a youth and finding a job is, we rely on, we have, the community has made that mentality of getting a job. When a youth works, when a youth comes from the school, he or she has this mentality of getting a job immediately. And that's not it outside here. Basically, what I do and what I did in school and what I do right now, they are similarly, but not that similarly, because mostly we are working on, right now I'm doing legal transcription, of which that is giving people justice, because what I transcribe will somehow, somewhere give someone justice, because we're in partnership with the judiciary. So I don't think they are similarly. Community health, I think, is far much different from what I did. But basically, I'd just say hard work and open-mindedness can take someone far, because one needs just to be open-minded. As a youth, you don't have to have that, we call it akili finyu in Kiswahili. That's being small-mindedness. You just have to be open-minded, because as a youth basically means change, future development. Yeah, that's basically it.
Future development, that brings me to Nuru. So Nuru, you're the founder of Little Innovators Academy, Little Innovators School. Is that just a fancy name for your school, or is there a story behind it?
Thank you very much, Agatha, the Deputy President, dignitaries or protocols observed. Good morning. My name is Nuru Luhindi, and I'm very passionate about mentoring people and organizations to their maximum potential. this is what led to the birth of Little Innovator School in January 2014. As a school, we seek to empower youth to be entrepreneurs right from preschool. We instill the mentality of curiosity, the mentality of problem identification and problem solving. In 2018, I read the World Economic Forum report, which it's called the Future of Jobs report. 66% of primary school children will end up in careers that do not exist. In February 2019, Institute for the Future published their report through Dell Technologies, which says that 85% of careers beyond 2030 are yet to be invented. That was a shocking discovery for me as a school. I asked myself difficult questions. How am I going to prepare these learners for that future? What we do is we train children to solve problems in their community through application of artificial intelligence, robotics, mobile app development, virtual reality, 3D printing, and so on. So just to bring the point home, they make things like smart bins, they make things like automatic water level detectors. We want to show these children that even in grade 1, they can critically look at a simple problem in their surrounding and come up with a solution through the guidance of their teacher and actually create an innovation. So like the smart bin was an innovation for grade 1 to grade 3. So we want them to have the entrepreneurial mindset that early so that when they're graduating, they're not job seeking, but creating jobs.
Thank you, Nuru. As far as vulnerable groups go, at CA you tick all the boxes. You're young, you're a woman, you're living with disability, you don't have a university degree, but you're not just another youth or another woman or another person living with disability. You play volleyball. You're on Kenya's wheelchair tennis team, and you're the first Kenyan to participate in para-rowing in the recently concluded Tokyo Olympics. How did you get into rowing and the Olympics, and how is that related to how you approach life?
Mr. Vice President, protocol observed. Good morning. So I'm Asia Mohammed Sururu, and as Agatha said, I fit in all those groups, from women to youth to person with disabilities, zote nipo. And regarding to the question, I got into the para sports, especially para rowing. It was through call, and I was just coming from Netherlands playing wheelchair tennis, and they called if I can try rowing. So I said, why not? That's how I get to approach life. Any opportunity that comes to my way, I take hold of it very seriously. So when I heard there is this a game called rowing, I was like, why not? I went there, I tried. Apparently I get to capsize on my first day. Yeah, and I drank lots of salty water at a go, but there I realized I can do this. That's how I get to become first Kenyan female rower to participate in either Olympics or Paralympics. So it was through a call. And by then I had already know about what sport is because I've been into other para sports. And it wasn't difficult it was really difficult to go to the Tokyos because it is an unpopular game, you know, and we are those unpopular athletes. People don't want to take risk to unpopular things that they don't know. Kenya tumezoea the athletics. So when you tell someone about rowing, they're like, "Iyo ni nini? What is that?" So it was a tough one. It was a tough one because we lack what we called equality in parasports compared to the able-bodied sports. So in between there is no equality. That's why we as parasports athletes, we get to work extra hard compared to the other ones. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Nuru, I come back to you. As a country, we are releasing more young people into the labor market, more than we can absorb, more than the economy can absorb, more than all the private sector leaders here can absorb. As an entrepreneur and an employer, what are the quick win solutions you see from where you sit to get all these youth decent and sustainable jobs?
Thank you, Agatha, for the opportunity. Synergy, collaboration between public and private sector. Schools generally lack the competence among their teachers to train emerging technologies. And yet, these are the careers that are going to be majorly responsible for the creation of the emerging careers beyond 2030. As the Swahili say, kidole kimoja hakivunji chawa. So there needs to be a concerted effort so as to avoid the scenario we had in the early 90s where there was computerization and massive loss of jobs. So we need to join forces. The little effort I'm making is I'm approaching schools and I'm training their learners in emerging technologies. So there are various schools we are working with. We're even supposed to have started a school in Uganda yesterday. No, today is Monday, today. But due to the Ebola announcement, we had to shelve it. We are trying to reach out to as many African youth as possible so that we are saying we are creating a ripple effect. Because as an individual, there's a lot of limitation in how much we can do. But if we can combine forces with government, public, private sector, and we are saying that we are enabling, especially the vulnerable youth in the informal settlements, they are the most disadvantaged. Because for us to train robotics, artificial intelligence, it requires money. So you can imagine a child in a public school can barely afford this. I know right now there's effort through the Code Risk program to train these children. However, that is just coding, which is just a very small percentage of emerging technologies. We want to teach these children techpreneurship. And as a techpreneur, you could be a doctor, a lawyer, an artist, a sociologist, but you're a techpreneur. You're learning how to harness emerging technologies in coming up with solutions to problems in the community. So that's what we need to do at whatever level we are. Let us support. If it's an organization, foundation, like I know Safaricom, Equity, etc., they are doing a marvelous job in sponsoring programs. So can more organizations come up? It should not be Serekali's idea. Let's work with the government and empower as many children in the grassroots as possible to be tech innovators and employment creators.
Thank you. Leod, you sit in what many youth consider a privileged position. You went through school, you got a university degree, and then you got a job. But in addition to having a job, you have a business, you're an innovator, and you have partnered with other young people to lend your skills and experience, especially in the circular economy and sustainability, to work on an innovation that will change the face of street food in Kenya. What has that experience been for you and why?
Well, thank you for the question. Leaders present, all protocols observed. My name is Leod Moneki. Thank you so much for the opportunity. So, like you've mentioned, I have 10 years ago, or rather in 2010, I finished my undergraduate program. I was looking for a job, just like many young people, and it took me 2.5 years. So I got this wonderful opportunity that had been on the newspaper. That was the Kenya Youth Empowerment Program by KEPSA. Then I applied, I got called in, and then at that point, that's when I realized I have to really be reliable, dependable, and look at this opportunity as a chance for me to change my life, and because I'd really struggled to get a job. So at that point, the program was 6 months long, very lengthy, some aspects you don't like, but most of it, you knew the end goal was to get an opportunity. So I was very fortunate to be placed at a workplace. I got an internship, and then I knew I would not lose this opportunity, and I really worked very hard to prove my skills and to prove myself. And at that point, I got a full-time role, and I've not lacked a job since. But in that space, because I was working then in sustainability and circular economy, I got very key skills that I thought I could use, and that's the point where I pivoted towards creating something that would really transform street food here in Kenya. And together with my friend, we developed what we call the Halisi trolley. You might know it. There's a street food cart that you see all over, people selling eggs and sausages. It runs on charcoal. And we decided, could we redesign this? I know that sector has not seen so much innovation for years. So we redesigned that to run on solar energy. We developed a prototype by bootstrapping. We went on, it worked. Then we went again and developed now another product for stress testing. So we went visiting vendors in markets and we asked them to test it for us. They loved it. Then now we have raised a bit of money through Accelerator programs. You might know them, so we applied to several of them. We've raised a bit of money, and now we've developed a product that is ready to be optimized for mass production. So it's been an interesting journey of innovation, and we see the prospects of this, having worked with a lot of young people and seeing the innovators around us in the whole ecosystem, and so much knowledge and information with us. Yeah, thank you.
So Leod is not only my colleague at KEPSA, but he's a young man I really admire, and we've been having many conversations around his innovation. The face of Smoky Pasua is changing with what he's doing, and he showed me what his cart looks like, and it has a solar panel at the top, and charging points for phones, so you can charge your phones at the street market. But it took me aback to realize, from our conversation, that all the seed money he's been able to raise, none of it has been from Kenya. Isitoshe, it is cheaper to manufacture the cart outside than it is here. Which speaks to a problem that a lot of, especially manufacturers, face on the cost of production. But it just raised questions that we could sit together, as Nuru said, synergy and collaboration to figure out. As we do these things, I am confident that Leod and his team will sell at least 1 million units, because vendors are waiting. They're just waiting for him to finalize prototyping. Could we keep those jobs from manufacturing here, and then we all grow? I can see our chair Flora smiling. We all grow as a country wholesome. Thank you very much. Beatrice, so now you're a legal transcriber. In addition to supporting your family, I was reading somewhere that you pay fees for your siblings.
Yes.
You've helped your parents open a business. But the thing that struck me is I read somewhere where you said you feel very proud that you're in a small way contributing to the development and sustainability of social amenities like roads and other things from the taxes you pay from your small salary. And that was refreshing to hear a Kenyan taking pride in being part of economic development. What's the match or the balance between rights and responsibilities, especially for youth?
Okay, there's a very thin line between the two, because in as much as my rights as a Kenyan citizen gives me that freedom and entitlement, I also have, my country is what I make it, yeah? So I should be there taking care of it. So paying paying tax is one of it. So through that helps grow my country. I just have to do it, not because of I'm being forced, but it's because of patriotism, the love I have for my country.
Thank you, Beatrice. Vincent, you quoted saying, opportunities are never lost. They are always taken by people who are ready. What opportunities do you see available for you?
You will grab it and run with it. I equate it like, it's like politics. If you're not ready for anything, trust you me, you won't even have that seat. So you must be ready always. So in future, I want first of all to take this opportunity to appreciate KEPSA